So our next question is, moving on to issues, is speaking about empowering New York State residents. Okay, they feel sometimes a little hopeless. They don't have that much of a voice in government, even though they do get to vote. That once you're up in Albany, that's it. So what happens is, one of the issues that's been brought up before the state legislature and has passed at times is what's called initiative and referendum. It's legislation that has come before the state legislature at times and has not passed both houses. But these processes will permit state residents a larger voice in government because they can put initiatives up for a vote if they secure a sufficient number of signatures statewide. Do you support or oppose initiative and referendum? And what would you do to help encourage more active citizen participation in their state government?
I think it's me.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I'm keeping score here. Okay, Kyle?
All right, thank you. I support initiative referendum when it comes from the voters. I think that, it's democracy, power from the people, by the people, and I think people should have a right to do that. What I don't like is when initiative referendum comes from politicians who are afraid to make a stand on something, and there might be a politically contentious issue, so they say, just put it on referendum. So I think that we need to make sure that if we're using referendums for the right reasons, and it's coming organically from our residents. And that also goes to accountability and accessibility from elected officials. We need to make sure that we have people that can have access to the information on these issues. So.
Okay. Colin?
Yes, initiative and referendum, again, I think it's one of these feel-good terms that are thrown out many times by candidates and elected officials. But quite frankly, and again, this gets back to New York. It depends on how the process will come out of how some of these legislators will push this through. We don't need a California. We don't need to be wasting hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars many times a year with different these different measures that are being forced down the public's throats and really just waste taxpayers' money. So we have to look at the process. We have to look at the system, and we have to take it from there.
Kyle, another response to that, or?
No, I just think that that's the beauty of local government and the fact that, like school districts, voters do vote directly on the school budget, and locally you can have nice accessibility to your elected officials, and, people are fast to come in and fast to go out if they're not doing the right thing.
Colin?
Yeah, I agree, and it goes back to those other examples.